So how did you move up?
Very slowly.
What did you adapt that made that change?
It basically came down to the last event. But, I mean...
that's the story that he told me that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
Almost leading up to it, he didn't really even expect to make it.
There was a couple times where I was just like, I'm over it. Like, I'm not... This has been fun. I'm enjoying it while I'm doing it, but I'm not going to qualify for the games. Like, I'm just like... So that event in Rio gets canceled, and it's the end. That was like October or something, and they're supposed to have a World Championships for 2022, and they don't have anything on the schedule. And so finally, in December or something, World Skate comes out and goes, okay, we're going to have the World Championship at this new park that Keegan Palmer designed in Dubai. We're going to have the 2022 World Championships in the beginning of 2023. And when you get to that event, we'll announce the rest of the series for the rest of we'll have a plan for the rest of the qualifying series for the Paris Games. And so straight away, it turns out to be like this 5-year deal with like where the money is, right? Like that can afford the World Skate sanctioning fees and stuff. For Dubai, it was out in Sharjah. It's actually like the next Emirates North, and it's a good new park, whatever. It's by my standards still super small, and big bank ramps all through the middle. What I call bank ramps, and everyone's, no, this is where you do your kickflip backside lip slides, dude. I'm like, but I don't do those. But because it was a world championship, Skateboard Great Britain would pay for us to go do a training camp. So we got to go fly out to Dubai for a week, and we were some of the first ones on the course, like that January, or maybe we were there in December before even the end of the year, because the actual contest was in January. So we went and got to like get our lines down, and that was the first time where like we went as like, okay, this is Skateboard Great Britain, this is the team, and basically like we all stayed in the same hotel, like had breakfast every morning, and it was very like, it was cool because by this point, Sam Beckett had been brought on to Skateboard Great Britain as head coach. And to this day, I'm like, best coach ever. Like if your coach can like rip harder than you, like that's like, and we all encourage like, Sam, you should be skating me. Like you're the best transition skater in the UK right now. You should be skating these with us. So Sam actually skated in the first 3 events. And he was like double duty, like skating and coaching. Because he would be coaching the girl side and the guys side. But I showed up to that event, and it was like just mind blowing that that skateboarding had come as far as it had, as far as like international. Like there was people from India there was people from Sri Lanka, there was like literally all over the world in men's park, because it was park and street. In men's park, there was 135 guys going for the top 32 spots, or actually top 28 spots. You had to make top 28 because the top 4 were automatically into the semis. Or
was it Dubai where one of the guys from the Uganda skate park?
Yeah. I saw guys from
did the street.
Yep. Because same deal. Like they if they have the funding from their government, they can get there. Yeah. And they came and skated streets. So there's like the Uganda skate team was there. So it was just really neat because I had skated world championships before. Like I have a plaque on my wall. You're like 1996 world champion, whatever. And it was the same 12 guys we were always skating with. And like we skated vert, and it's the world championships. It's sponsored by the Hard Rock Cafe, whatever. But it's like,
oh yeah, that's right.
So this was like a whole different deal. Because I didn't have a ranking, I was like first guy, second heat. And there was 9 heats. There's 135 guys. So as a judge, you're literally sitting watching skateboarding from 8 in the morning till like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm like, how can you remember who did what in these heats? So I learned the hard way that like, if you're in the first 4 or 5 heats, there's no way you're making the semis. There's no way you're making, even the quarterfinals. So I skated my runs, and I did it like I've always done it. I like didn't do the flip tricks in the first run, did the varials, like stayed on my first run, made my safety run, and then went for my second run. Granted, I fell on a heel flip, but I was like, I did all right. I stayed on my board, whatever. I ended up getting like 52nd place, just like not even close, because by the time the end of the day and the guys in the 8th heat and the 9th heat are going, like those are the guys that already have rankings. Those are the guys that are always in the semifinals. So right after that event, like after the open qualifier of that event, I was already like, yeah, this isn't really gonna happen.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, this isn't gonna work. And I flew home early and said to Daz, like, yeah, I don't, it's a lot of time away. I had been away for a week, away from my family, like, and it used to be like I would be away from my family because I was out. I'm the breadwinner. I'm gonna make money. And here, like, yeah, I'm not costing money because Britain's paying for it, but I'm not making any money. I'm not coming home with prize money or whatever. So it was frustrating. And I had been gone another 10 days, and I was like, I can fly home now. It's only Thursday, and I'll be home for the weekend, whatever. So I did. I changed my ticket, and I went home, and I was pretty discouraged. But before I left at that event, they announced how they're going to do the rest of the qualification series, and they announced 3 more events: one in Argentina, one in Rome, Italy, Ostia, Italy, and then again in Dubai. And those would be including the World Championships in Dubai. Those would be the 4 qualifying events that you had to make the top 44 in the world to continue on to the OQS.
You had to make the top 44 based on your cumulative points?
Right.
Okay.
And you get more points for World Championships.
Right.
So at 52nd place, I wasn't doing so good already, right? And so...
But you're not that far off,
but
44.
Yeah.
You're just not going to be in the first heat.
Right. So that, like, that lesson straight away, I was like, if you're in a later heat, if your ranking's higher, you'll be put into a later heat. If you're ranked last, you go first.
Okay.
So it behooves you to be ranked higher so you get in later heats, and later heats score better. So the next contest was Argentina. It was like, there's no way that there should have been an event at the skate park. Like, the park was like 2 years old, and the whole park was like skating the quarter pipe out here on this street. Like, it was like the mellowest quarter pipe, and it was like maybe nose or eyebrow high, the whole park. And there was a jump box, and then there was a little bit of a waterfall into a deep end, and the deep end was almost legit. Like, I could do 540s in the deep end if I pulled out enough in my flip tricks or whatever. And then there was a bank too. There was a bank that was like it was so driveway bank that if you went up, you couldn't do a rock fakie on it because your wheels hit on the top.
God.
That's how mellow it was. Your rails wouldn't hit.
Yeah.
But I cashed in some miles, and I went down there and got a line together. When I got there, there was like holes. Like, there was this one seam. There was like this giant crevice in the one seam. You couldn't even carve the corner because it was just like rotted out. And I was like, hopefully they fix this before the contest. But that was, again, on my own dime. I used miles and got a line together, and then messed up on my return to actually come down for the contest. And I got there the night before the girls' event, and the girls go on Wednesday, the guys go on Thursday. So I missed all my practice.
At that little park.
At that little park. I had the practice that I went, weeks before, and I had my line down, but at the actual contest, I would get my 15-minute warm-up session before the event. That was all my practice for the event. And I still wasn't used to, like, the whole, like, you had to check in, you had to walk into the park and check in with the official, and who would check off your name. Okay, now you're in the park. And they called my heat, so I just, like, hopped the fence and started skating. And they came running over like, whoa, yeah. I'm like, this is my heat. Like, I have 15 minutes, and I'm sitting here talking to you for 5 of them trying to say, like, this is my heat. Like, you know who I am. Like, come on. And it was just, like, very much like, gotta be by the book. And I wasn't used to that at all. I was like, is this a skateboard event? Like, so I ended up skating well at that. I bailed my first run, and then made my second run. I had bailed a nollie heel flip, and then, like, going into my second run, I was like, am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? And ended up going for it and made it, and was super psyched. And again, I was in the second heat, and I was in 6th place after the second heat. And I was like, sick. There's a good chance, like, there's, 8 or 9 heats, but like, I'm in 6th place right now. I only got to make top 28. I could make it. And so for the rest of the day, I hung out and watched my ranking go down and down and down, and down. And I missed it by 2 spots.
Oh.
So
Was it at the very end?
yeah, it was the last. It's always the last seed, dude. It gets way better because like that's about where I am, right?
Yeah.
So I had a little bit more encouragement, like, okay, like I'm still in the running, you know, and Darren from Skateboard Great Britain was awesome. He was just like, dude, this is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Like this takes years. We're going to be here. We're going to be doing these events. Like you're going to get your ranking going, whatever. So
I don't understand. Why are you paying your way down? I thought you were on the
I only
British
paid
team.
my way down to skate before the event.
Oh, okay.
And because that wasn't a national championship, Britain didn't have money to send me down before.
All right.
So now the next event is Ostia, Italy, and that is a world championships. That's going to be the 2023 World Championships. And because it is, Britain has money to get the whole team out there for a training camp. So I went out for a training camp and got a line together and hung out with the team. Super fun. Like this is why I'm doing it. I'm learning like new friends, learning how to skate transition. And meanwhile, in the background, as you know, like I'm not showing up at Tony's ramp every day. Like I'm showing up at Tony's ramp like once a week, and the rest of the time I'm at the TF. I'm skating Vista. I'm skating Oceanside. I'm skating
during
like,
those times, I remember I had this conversation with Kevin Staub. We're like, look at, like we already, you know, we know how you skate. We know your preference, and we would watch these clips you're posting from the TF facility, and we're just like, look at Andy's just in torture. Like Andy's like stuck in like literally in a prison of small transition.
Yep.
And we're like, yep, cool. Like doing
I didn't even know he was doing it for that reason. I was like, why does he like that skate park so much? He knows Tony. Like you could go to the ram. I'm like, I guess he just loves jumping that stupid box over and over again. I didn't get it.
It was he's a masochist. One of the most challenging things I've done for sure in my whole skateboarding career is and frustrating at the same time. Like it was challenging and cool when I learned something new. Like I learned how to fly over the hip to backside tail slide. Never done that in my life, you know? So it was like, here I am like in my 50s learning new tricks. But at the same time, I'm like, I can do nollie heel flips every time. First try, I invented that trick on a vert ramp. Boom, got it. I go to the TF and it takes 10 tries to do it one time. You know, I'm just like, it's maddening, you know? And it's not like you can drop in, set up, air, do your trick. You're in this bowl. So it's drop in, pump, 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 air the box, try your trick, fall, climb out. You know, it was just like, and there's 13 other guys. So this like, it's snake session. Yeah, it's snake session. There's 4 or 5 minutes between tries.